nonprofit or business in need of more funding? Overwhelmed by the search of potential funders and not seeing the results you would like? I am Michelle Rollins, veteran, military spouse, a grant writer expert and fundraising professional. I have transformed ideas to real-life transformations in many nonprofits and businesses. Let me transform your ideas to a whole new level. Reach out today for a consultation. Find me at Michelle Rollins LinkedIn and Facebook, and at Michelle Rollins Grants on YouTube. Welcome to Grant Writing with Michelle. I'm your host, Michelle Rollins, and you are here with us today on the mic with Mike. I'm excited about today. I have a special guest with me. One of my services I offer is nonprofit coaching, and I've had the honor and pleasure of working along with my special guest, helping him with nonprofit coaching with an organization that he used to work for. Many times nonprofit organizations have a very small and limited staff, and their executive leader needs leadership teams to effectively lead their missions. And they face challenges in their businesses and organizations. My guest today was experiencing that, and he needed more help in facing the challenges. He wanted to create a stronger and more effective organization. And while my guest is no longer with that organization, he is still aiming to elevate and strengthen his communities. Welcome, Kevin. Kevin is a publisher and managing director for the TravelHost Magazine for the Hampton Roads area. He has over 30 years leading in executive roles, and he's passionate about his communities. I am very excited to have Kevin here today. I'm so glad we have the opportunity to share a little bit about your background and your professional and our professional team efforts and what led you to where you are now. So welcome, Kevin. I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you, Michelle. It's a pleasure to be here. I don't know how special of a guest I'll be, but I'll do my absolute best. And when I knew my buddy Parker was going to be here, I couldn't say no to that invitation.
Yes,
but,
sir.
I do thank you for having me. And a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Northeast PA, a little bit north of Mike, up from the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Born and raised there, but have spent roughly 30 years in the newspaper and the media business in Pennsylvania, in Tennessee, in Virginia, and in South Carolina. We moved here shortly after COVID. At that point, I was more or less done with the media business and went to work for Robin Green. So he was right next door here to you guys with Sandler Training. He was in a different location then. Did some sales training for a while. However, the media business, being in it for 30 years, was something that I really missed. So eventually I ended up back there, but not before I became the executive director of Backpacks of Love, which is how I met you.
Yes, sir.
You remember you and I were introduced by the gentleman who started Backpacks of Love. That's where you and I first met each other. And there was just something about your energy and something about the knowledge that you brought that I knew right away I could learn something from you.
I felt the same about you.
Well, thank you. As you mentioned, I've got a lot of leadership experience, a lot of organizational experience, but what I didn't have was the grant writing experience, and you bring that in droves. I had very little of that. I did have a lot of background in working with nonprofits, working with the United Way, being on the board of directors of YMCA, and those sorts of things, being a volunteer youth coach, all of those sorts of things. I knew about raising money, but really didn't know how to go about it.
Right.
God put us together for that reason.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful that you took the time when I was with Backpacks of Love to teach me some of the things I needed to know in order to help take that organization to the next level. Working together, Backpacks of Love was able to provide more meals to more children in need in more schools than they had prior to your coming in and helping. And I will always be grateful for the time that you spent with me, teaching me how to make that organization better. Because the bottom line is it impacted thousands of kids
Yes.
in this community.
Yep.
After leaving Backpacks of Love, I did go back into the media business with TravelHost of Hampton Roads. It's a tourism-based publication down in Virginia. And the second I went there, I had to reach back out to you
Yes.
because we also have the mission of helping to promote nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I wanted to do with you was to help promote some of the nonprofits that you work with, and
Yes.
we were able to do that.
Absolutely. Help our veterans and just really have an impact on our veterans, our disabled veterans, and our service members that need us the most right now, especially such a saturation in that area
Yeah.
of all the different installations. And you were able to be that voice for that nonprofit. So I'm very appreciative and grateful for that.
Well, we'll continue to be that voice, and you and I need to work together on helping to promote some different organizations.
Oh, yes.
As you said, that area is, the whole world knows, is heavy in the military.
Yes.
In that Norfolk, Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach, Williamsburg area.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's still part of my goal to help the communities that I work and live in. And I would have never been able to do a lot of what we did without your help.
Yes. Well, same thing for you, vice versa. We were able to come in and help, not only did I provide you with a service, but I gave time and volunteered with my family to help promote some of the events that you put on. And even when they didn't always go as planned, you had some great new board members that came in, and we all worked together. Even I think it was the coldest day. I know I was freezing the rest of the evening when we got home because it was so cold. And you put on such a great spread between the food and between getting the donations. I know Parker helped, sort the food. And I know Hunter was in there, taking the food from different folks that were coming in and donating, and in the big tubs that you provided. And I know that particular day, there was one thing that stuck out, and I really wanted to emphasize this, that, he talks about opening doors, new opportunities, and growth and impact. But one thing that Kevin did that's been amazing, and I've seen other folks do it, is you worked with an amazing team at a local gas station. I do not want to mention their names just for sake of respect. But he was able to work with a team that created a pump that certain X amount of money from that pumped gas goes to that organization. Yes. And this particular gasoline or gas station owner owns more than one, and the pump actually has the organization on it. And it's just an amazing thing. If I lived closer, I would be pumping my gas for that pump, because you don't see that often. And you did something that really will keep going and has an impact on an organization, even after you decided to find it, go to another opportunity. And that's what's amazing, is that's an imprint left and showing just sustainability and impact. And I'm so grateful that you did that, because the owners wanted to help. They're still involved. Yeah. And so you have a board member from an amazing realtor company as well. So it really took, we were a great team, and that really takes, that's really important especially when you bring on a consultant like myself, because you have to be able to work together to come up with some creative ideas, work through the kind of the ins and outs that are not always fun to work through, and then also deal with the frustrations that come along with it. Because usually when I come in, that means that there's a problem, there's a challenge to face. It's not because you really want me to come on, because really at the end of the day, people want to save money and not bring me there, and I get it. But Kevin really wanted me. We like I said, we connected, just as he said, with the founder that has an amazing mission. But Kevin's the one that initiated, hey, I need your help. And it was the weekly meetings, the information. I know all the time when Kevin and I had our weekly meetings, I put together, I want to say I was back in my teacher mode, because I was putting, I guess you could say slides, but necessarily just information. It's great wealth of information to help him with some of the things I know he was tackling and facing head on. And then Kevin, he wanted to pay it forward as well. And he also came and gave time to one of the amazing missions at Fort Greg Adams as well, which I know as a board member, our team was forever grateful that year for your support. He helped lead our efforts of a huge toy drop that we had. And again, it's all about the relationships. It's about the impact. And you carry that with what you're doing now, because like you mentioned, you reached out to me, how can I help some of the folks that you're representing? And I know my one client that you went ahead and put in a magazine spread was so forever grateful for that, that you posted that, because especially since his mission is in that area, because it's so saturated with the military communities. And you have a voice that the nonprofits do not have, especially the smaller ones. Like, right. It was just you, the board, and volunteers. and me, but I don't really count. I'm just
You
on the
count.
side.
You count. Without your help, we wouldn't have been able to grow, and that was the objective. Part of my background is also that I grew up poor. My mom raised 3 boys by herself. She was a single mom. And putting food on the table was a struggle. So that mission of Backpacks of Love, of feeding kids in need, really spoke to me. So when you took time out of your day, your job, your other organizations that you worked with, your family, to help me, it means a lot to me. Some of the other people that we worked with, like you mentioned, Lismore Real Estate, they're part of our magazine down in the Hampton Roads area. Just the relationships that we built, I will remember forever. And the fact that we were able to change some lives is really what this whole thing is all about. And without your expertise, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
Well, I saw what Backpacks did before I even met you, and before I actually met the founder. When I came out of the military, I went into education, and some of the schools that I worked in actually received the meals from Backpacks. And I didn't even know that they were getting those meals. I didn't know where they came from. I didn't know anything about them. And when to find out when you were sharing with me, what schools you served, what counties, I was just blown away of how it kind of came full circle, and to see that impact, boots on the ground on location, and then knowing who you were and what you were representing. It was just an amazing thing to see, who we're serving and the impact it's having and how many are served. And then to know that how many counties it serves is amazing. So yes, again, I'm forever grateful for our relationship and our team efforts. And then you would always say all the time, thank you for taking time out. I don't think you ever missed that, what you just said either. And I appreciate that. Those are the folks I love working with, because those are always usually the ones I keep building more team efforts for. As you can see, he's still trying to work with me in a different way, just to provide more impact as much in voices to the organizations. So I appreciate your insights today. Did you want to add anything else before we end today?
Just to Parker, just so you know, Parker, you're not the only one that Mom gave homework to. When Mom was helping me learn, I got homework all the time too, so don't feel bad.
I do remember that, yes.
So you're not alone there, Parker.
Yes, and you used to say, I'll try my best.
Absolutely, I'll try my best. I don't think he could get away with that. I was able to. But again, it's everyone's job to help make our communities better. This is where we live. This is where we work. This is where we shop. This is where we play.
Absolutely.
This is where we raise our families, whether it be our kids, our grandkids, both, whatever it may be. It's everyone's job to make this community better, and it's because of the people like you that we're able to do that. People don't stop to think the impact that a hungry kid has on a community. A hungry kid, you can bet your bottom dollar is going to get in trouble. No doubt about it. It's going to, most likely, going to end up in trouble. And it's not going to be his or her fault. A hungry kid isn't going to learn the way that they should. And that trouble's not far behind. So helping kids put food in their belly helps this entire community in more ways than we could ever count. And again, thanks to you, we were able to do more of that.
Yes.
So the last thing I have to share is, if anyone out there is in need of professional help when it comes to grant writing, call Michelle.
Awesome. That is the best compliment ever. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kevin, for giving time today just to be here. And I hope this is a great wealth of knowledge to nonprofits out there and businesses, especially the ones that have the small staff sizes and our limited resources, and sometimes feel like they don't know how to go back to their mission and the impact. And that's where I come in. So I hope this has been a great wealth of knowledge today. Thank you for being here for Grant Writing with Michelle. Have a great day.